everyone. Today let's take a look on how we can create our custom elevation mark or elevation symbol for the interior elevations. So it will be pointing at 4 sides and it will have a custom pointer. So if I go now inside of my project, my view, elevation, and I choose my not building elevation but interior elevation, and you can see I am creating some elevations in here. Let's create one like this. So this is still like normal. You can see my interior elevation is being created. And if I select this elevation, you can see that there is something different with this elevation mark. And that is that I can create different elevations for different sides. As you can see in here with this square, which is also in here and here, I can go and check the square like in here, like to say yes, and it will create an elevation which will be pointing in this direction. And it will create also this elevation pointer in here, this elevation mark. So if I unselect it, you can see now I have only one elevation created, which is like pointing in this direction. So I'm now going to create another one which will be pointing in this direction. So I will just select the elevation symbol and I will just hit this to show. Now you can see I have my new elevation created. I can go and do this for all of the sides, and now you can see I have all of my elevations being created. But as you can see, I have some just like ticks in here, which is telling me that the parameter is not set. So what is it actually showing me? I can go and I need to like find this, like select it. If I just select this elevation as is in here, now you can see that I have my interior elevation and I do not actually see my elevation mark. So I need to select actually not like this pointer, but the body itself. So I need to select the interior side where I can just check and uncheck the elevations. And here you can see I have my elevation, interior elevation selected. And if I go into my edit type dialog, here in those settings, the thing in here, this one called elevation tag is this. This is our elevation tag. And here we can choose our family for the elevation tag. So if I will just click here on this little square, which you can see in here, it will open me another dialog, which now tells me that we are inside of this elevation tag family, which is this 10mm circle. You can see in here, type 10mm circle, system family elevation tag. And inside of this elevation tag, we have an elevation mark, which has some different types. So let's just now change this to be detail number and view name, hit OK. And now you can see, we can see also the view name. So this tick is the detail number and this is our view name. Okay, so this is something that Revit has like out of the box, but let's say we want to customize this. So the way to do this is to change this family of this elevation tag. If I select the elevation tag itself, you can see I cannot actually go inside of the family to modify it. So I need to find it first in my project browser, and the easiest way to do this is to go select the elevation itself, not just like this pointer. Go to edit type and find the elevation tag name. So this is 10mm circle. So we'll just find the 10mm circle. And now you can see inside of the annotation symbols, I have two families. I have my elevation mark body circle 10mm, and I have my elevation mark pointer circle 10mm. So the difference between this body and the pointer is that this body is this elevation symbol as a whole, and this elevation mark pointer is this one part of it. So you can think about it as this body is being actually created from 4 different pieces, which are those elevation mark pointers. And altogether, they are creating our elevation mark body. So we need to go into our elevation mark body family. So I will right click it, go to edit. Now you can see we are inside of this family. So in the middle, as you can see, the tag or the label in here, if we go to edit label, is referencing our sheet number. So I do not want this at all, so I will just delete it. So now you can see we have these 4 elevation marks in here. And as you can see, this is a separate family. You can see here elevation mark. And as you can see, if I try to modify this, I cannot actually do this in here because it is a nested family inside of this family. So as you can see, if I select it, I can go to edit family. So I will go 1 level deeper to be actually able to edit this. So if I go to my edit family now you can see I am inside of this family of this elevation mark, which is this elevation mark pointer. So again, here this elevation mark, because this is also a family of the elevation mark, is the body. You can see it in here, elevation mark use is body. And it has 4 nested families of elevation marks, which has the usage as a pointer. You can see it in here, body or pointer. And altogether, they create this elevation symbol, which we are seeing actually in here, inside of our project. So if I want to modify this, I need to go actually 1 level deeper into my elevation mark pointer circle. You can see the elevation mark uses a pointer, and I can modify this. So I will just now go and delete all of this. I will also go and delete these family types, and I will leave just a view name because this is what I want. And I will delete all of those parameters because I do not need them. Okay, so we are clean. And now let's create something new. We'll go with the field region. Let's go just like 2 millimeters. It will be 45 degrees. I will just mirror this. And like this, we will have a little triangle as a pointer. So this is our new elevation mark pointer, and it has a use as a pointer. So I will just go and save this as a new family. I will go with our custom elevation pointer. I will override this, and I will just now load it inside of my elevation mark body circle family. So now you can see I can place it in here. So I will just go and place it. And now I will move it so it will be in the middle, and let's go, let's say 4 millimeters above. Okay, now I can actually delete this one and leave only this one. So if I go and load it into the project now, like this, hit OK. I will just override this one. I will not create a new one. So you will better like see what it actually does. Now you can see that this upper elevation in here is changed. It doesn't have now any label in here, and it has this custom pointer which we have now created. Okay, now I want to talk about this circle in here, because if I go and actually select my elevation as it is, and I will just uncheck all of those elevations, you can see that I am now actually deleting the elevations from the project. So it will be empty. There are no interior elevations created, but you can see here this elevation symbol, this elevation mark or this elevation tag is still in here placed, but it doesn't have any like elevation and any pointer created. So I can see only a circle now. And this is because in my elevation mark body family, I have, if I just hide these elevation marks, which are my pointers, and this one which we have just created, you can see there is a circle here drawn. So let's go and change this from the circle to, for example, a little cross in here. So I will make it like this, and I will delete this one and load it back into the project. Override this, and now you can see it changed for this little cross. So this graphic, when we do not have any elevation created, is the graphic from the elevation mark body. So this use is a body. And if I will just go back to show it all, you can see these elevation mark pointers. So if I go back into my project and select the pointer, so it will create the elevation for me. You can see now this elevation is here created. Now it looks like this. Okay, so back to our example. I will delete all of these and leave it like it is. Let's go back into the project. So I will override it. And now if I select it, now you can see that actually these little squares on other sides now have disappeared. And that is because inside of my family, I have only one pointer. So you can see the way that I can create actually a pointer and an elevation here is because inside of this elevation mark, which is a type of body, I have this elevation mark which is set to pointer. So if I want to create the possibility to create another elevation inside of my project, I need to actually create more instances of this here in this mark. So I will just rotate it around. Like this, and load it back into the project. Okay, override. And on the first side, nothing changed. But if I select it, now you can see I can create my new elevations. So I will go and create like this. So now it looks better. And the last thing which I want is to actually place here some tag. So I need to go back inside of my family, but I need to go inside of this elevation mark itself, so one level deeper. So I will go in here and I will create a label. Let's place a label here with our view name, which will be referencing, and let's go with the sample value XX. Okay, so I will try to center it a little bit. Looks good. And I will just load this back into my elevation mark body and override it. So now you can see in this preview it will look like this. And if I will load this now into my project and override this and override all of the subcomponents, now you can see I can see my elevation view name. The one thing which is a little bit different with the elevations like created like this is that you cannot actually use this tag like bidirectional. For example, like here I can go and change the name directly from the tag. I cannot do this in here because it is a nested family. But if I change the view name of the elevation, let's say in here, I will go with my A. It looks as it should. I will go here with, let's say, a B. Looks good. I will go with the C. Looks good. And I will create one more. And let's go with the D. and looks good. So I have my A, B, C, and D elevations, and it looks as I want it. The good thing to have something inside of this elevation, like this body, is that I will just show you. If I will delete this now and override this, if you do not have anything in here which you can select, it is sometimes pretty hard to select this body because you will be selecting only the marks, but the body itself sometimes you cannot actually select that easy as I can do it now. So sometimes it is better to leave here some mark, so it will be easier for you to select the inside of the project. And also, if you will not have any elevation created, you will know that there is actually something here placed. So this is the way how you can customize your elevations and create the elevation symbol which will be pointing at 4 directions for your interior elevations inside of the project.